Hello and welcome everyone to the seminar on time management as part of the Overcoming Obstacles, Barriers and Challenges series. I'm Joanna Pexa on behalf of the Learning Enhancement team, guiding students on different aspects of academic communication. If you have any questions to us, email us on let@mdx.ac.uk. The focus of today's session is really to provide you with some tips and tricks to better manage your routine and also stress levels. It is by no means a session where we'll force new habits into you. It's more of a reflective session where you think about your habits and how to improve them. So let's start with a question. What are the benefits of studying at university? Why did you choose Middlesex? What were your aims? What were your goals? What were you hoping to achieve? So if you're taking notes, think about a couple of ideas for yourself. So this is the first reflective question, really, when you think about what were the reasons why you chose to study at university. And it is linked to time management in the sense that good time management is focusing on your goals. And it is much easier to do that when you have a clear aim, and it might be a super objective. It might be an objective that needs to be broken down into mini goals, into milestones. So for example, if you want to pass your exam and you study for it, you need to revise, obviously, and you need to set yourself a certain time frame to do that. So for example, if I want to study, and that will be my routine, I would set myself 30 minutes every day to do that, because I know myself and I know how I study, I know my routine. I would set a time frame of 2 weeks to do that, and also, it all depends on the length of the exam, on the scope of the exam. I would also be prepared to stay focused, and I would know that there will be distractions coming my way. So within these 30 minutes, I would really make an effort to stay focused, to switch my phone off, and to stick to my plan. And this is really about knowing yourself. So we've got a couple of questions for you here. Knowing yourself is about knowing your routine. So for example, if you prefer to study very early in the morning, or you prefer to study at night, think about the times of day that work best for you. Also think about how long you can study before you need a break. For example, I prefer to study at short intervals because I know that I become distracted quite easily. When it comes to your environment, what are the best options for you? So whether you like noise, or maybe you need to study in a very quiet environment. It's also worth thinking about your distractions, whether there are any, and I'm sure we all have things that distract us. Do you need any rewards that will motivate you to study? Is there support available for you? And we'll come back to it later on in the session, but when you think about the support available at Middlesex, there are different teams, there are different people that can help you stay focused. Knowing yourself is also about knowing what your weaknesses are, so knowing your limitations. So it's worth answering these questions before you even start making your study schedule. And this is how my study schedule looks like. So you can see I've got different tasks in my calendar, I've got different meetings, it's filled with different seminars, different classes. I've color-coded them because it's easier for me to differentiate between the prioritized and non-prioritized tasks, for example. So this is just one way of thinking about your study timetable. I'm also thinking about not putting the tasks that are the biggest chunks or biggest challenges to the last minute. And I know this is something many people struggle with. So doing unpleasant things later might make you feel better in the first place, but they will nag you at the back of your mind, and it is distracting, really. So when we come back to that list, it's really worth thinking, for example, this one, is a big chunk, is a big challenge for me that I need to complete. And I know I can't put it off to the very last minute. So I've got a deadline here and I need to set myself time to do that. So I need to be realistic in terms of my time frame and my energy. So this is again a piece of advice to you guys. Another aspect of being more productive is having a conducive environment to study. So I like to study in bright spaces. I like to study in spaces with flowers, plants, anything that soothes me and keeps me focused. And this is again for you to think about what your workspace should look like. How can you make it attractive and how can you make it more motivating? When it comes to your desk space, think about the things you need around your desk space so you don't waste time going back and forth looking for them. So again, it's all about distractions and it's all about keeping you focused as much as possible. So as you can see, time management is also about preparation and having not only the mind space, but also the physical space that will keep you focused, keep you motivated. So far, we've discussed your motivation, your distractions, how to stay focused, and what are the best ways for you to study. And now let's move on to more practical aspects of this seminar. So let's have a look at the ways of prioritizing tasks. And one tool that we chose for you guys is the Eisenhower decision matrix. And this matrix is really a matrix that helps you decide on and prioritize tasks by urgency and importance. It is also referred to as an urgent important matrix. So you can see that the 4 quadrants that divide your tasks according to their importance and urgency. So you might end up having tasks in the last quadrant that are not important and not urgent. Something that you might want to delegate or something that you don't have to complete within your time frame at all. And the name of the matrix comes from, obviously, Eisenhower, 34th President of the United States. He was very accomplished in managing his schedule and he stayed motivated for years and years. Many people studied his routines and his habits. So we chose this one for you as a practical activity and we would like you to have a go at it. So what you are doing in each quadrant is looking at the tasks that are A, urgent and important to do, B, not urgent but important to plan, C, urgent but not important, so you might want to delegate them, and last of all, D, not urgent and not important at all, so something that you can limit or maybe eliminate altogether. So have a couple of minutes to draw this matrix and input the tasks that you need to do according to their importance and urgency. So what you need to start with is a list of the tasks that you need to complete within, let's say, the next week or 2 weeks. Okay, so that's the first step. And the next step in completing this activity would be to decide, so this is the most challenging part, I guess, where each task will go. So which quadrant each task will end up in. So have a go at it now, and I'll see you very, very soon. Okay, so how is completing your list going? Have you come up with activities that can go to each quadrant? Let me just give you some examples. So for example, if you need to urgently prioritize an important task, that would be reviewing an important document that you need to read for the following day's seminar. When it comes to not urgent but important tasks, an activity of such type might be wanting to get back to the gym. So part of your schedule, but it's not as important as something that you need to do for tomorrow and you've got a deadline, for example. In the third quadrant, you could input tasks that you might want to delegate. So for example, someone is calling you for an urgent favor. You don't really want to do that. There is a way around it. So that relates really to art of saying no. But this is something, again, not important, urgent. Maybe someone else can do it. Maybe you can channel it through someone else who might be better suited to help that person. And last of all, the fourth quadrant is called don't do it for a reason. Because maybe you shouldn't be doing it at all. So for example, scrolling the internet or looking at your phone. So it is, again, when we talked about the limitations, it's coming back to your limitations, coming back to the distractions and inputting these in the last quadrant. Okay, so having finished this list and inputting the tasks into quadrants, think about what frees your mind and what keeps you focused. So this is really about listing the things that help you stay focused. When you look at that list again and the matrix again, ask yourself what needs to be done first and stick to it. Okay, try to limit yourself to the number of tasks that you can do. Try not to collect tasks, but to complete them. So in each quadrant, let's go back to the matrix again. Limit yourself to, say, maximum 8 tasks. Always make space for your leisure activities, okay? We don't want you to feel inundated with too much work. Leave space for pauses, breaks, and other things that keep you energized. So this is something that we're going to talk about a little bit later on. When it comes to distractions, try to, again, think about what can be done without you. Is there any way that you can stay focused? Is there any environment where you feel focused? Let's move on to the study planner. So this is another activity we've got for you. The materials, so the study planners are available. Let me just go to the session materials. They're available for you in the session folder. So we've got 2 templates for you, and it's up to you which one you want to use. So it's either template 1 or template 2. And there is a slight difference between them. Template 1 has the timings only and the days of the week. Template 2, as you can see, has space for breaks. So you can really play with these templates. They are fully editable by you guys, and think about which one works for you best. So don't be over ambitious. Break down your larger tasks into smaller chunks. And also think about how familiar you are with each topic. So in the other session, in note-taking and other sessions of the series, we talked about planning how you're going to go about each task. And time management is really no different. So when you need to look at, for example, an essay that you need to write, you need to prepare and you need to know what the requirements of the task are. So this is something, again, to bear in mind when you create your own revision timetable. So let's do this activity together. I want you to do it in different steps. So you've got, maybe from your list that you've created already, you've got the list of subjects that you need to study. We're going to focus with this activity on your university tasks alone. So think about the subjects that you need to study for another, let's say, week or 2, or maybe a month. So that might be a slightly larger time scale. Write down what you need to do for each subject. You can, again, use your module handbook. You can use your learning objectives. This step requires planning. So think about the deadlines that have been included in the module handbook and have been set for this particular task. Also, in your study timetable, you need to include time for research and reviewing your notes. So this is a crucial step that we very often forget about. The next step is to prioritize your list. So you've already prioritized some of the tasks. So you can again use the Eisenhower decision matrix that will be focused on your studies. In the next step, you divide your available time during the week into study blocks. So at that stage, ask yourself questions. Can you create a suitable routine for you? So for example, whether you want to study at the same time every day, and what will be the length of your studying time, whether it's 30 minutes, 40 minutes, again, depends. It depends on different factors. In step 5, think about the time for leisure activities. Maybe there are any commitments you can't reschedule, or maybe there are commitments that you can reschedule. So that's going back to the prioritizing your tasks. In step 6, you will fill in your study blocks, prioritizing subjects from your list. So prioritizing subjects from step 1. Okay, so think about which study planner is best for you. So now it's over to you guys. Think about the time frame that you want to include. So that might be a week or 2 weeks or a month, depending again on the deadline. And last of all, think about what is the one key thing that you can take away from today and implement in your daily routine. When you're ready with your study planners, you can email them to us. You can ask us questions. Don't be afraid to get help. If you need to book a tutorial with the LET, you can contact other teams as well. So remember that a range of support is available at Middlesex for you. If at any point you get stressed, you can get in touch with our mental health team. So let me just show you where you are very quickly. This is the, it's a bit slow, but there you go. So this is the UniHub page. We are in the study section, so you can see there are different services, there are different teams that can guide you in your studies. We are here, and when you go to our page, this is the provision. So tutorials, summer tutorials are the provision that we have for you for now. So maybe it's worth booking a tutorial, familiarizing yourself with what we do. And we've got tutorials for academic writing and maths and stats alike. So thank you very much for attending this session. I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys, and stay motivated, stay productive. I'll see you very soon.